Hello everyone, welcome to Chasing Adventures. And as you can see, I'm starting today's video in my truck, and that's because, well, I've been waiting a long time for this, but I'm driving out to Wenatchee, Washington, where Lone Peak Camper headquarters is, to get my camper installed today. So please join me to see what it's like and what to expect when you get your camper installed at Lone Peak Camper. Also, I got the newer version 2 camper, so it's the newest and the upgraded version of their already awesome camper. So yeah, I'm super hyped about this. And enough talking, let's head on out to get my camper installed.
Merge onto Pangbourne Road, then turn left. Turn left, then your destination will be on the left. Your destination is on the left.
All right, so after about 3 hours later, I'm here at Lone Peak Camper's headquarters. And I gotta say, the drive was amazing. It was very beautiful fall scenic route. And luckily, it's not raining today. And so this building here is their new office slash installation booth. And this used to be their old building where it was the camper building facility slash office space slash installation booth for the customers and so forth. But they got so busy, they had to expand, so they took over this building too. And I believe that this building is now their camper building facility only. And that is the office and the installation booth for customers. So anyways, let's go inside and get the camper installed. Good morning.
What can I do for you?
I'm your 10 o'clock.
I'm my 10 o'clock. Brian?
Yeah. Gabby, right?
Yes.
Nice to
great
meet you
Brian.
again.
Cool. Well, Smitty has just got your camper hung up there. So
Okay.
we'll be starting here in a few if you're ready.
Yeah.
All right. Do you need to get anything out of the back?
Yes, I do. I'll get that.
Let's take a look.
Okay.
How long ago was it that you came in?
It was July 21st.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not too
Not too long ago, yeah.
All right.
And I'm glad you guys finished it before.
Yeah. Winter got crazy. All right, sweet. Would you be able to just back it up to this bay door here?
Okay.
And then just go ahead and leave the keys on the seat and we'll get started.
Got it. All right, so they're installing the camper, and while I'm at it, I wanted to give you guys a little backstory, and that is after I got the Rebel, I was actually looking into a camper shell, something sturdy enough to put my rooftop tent and the 270-degree awning. But while I was researching for a camper shell, I saw OVS camper shell rooftop tent. And that got me really intrigued with the idea of having a camper shell and a rooftop tent all built in as a one unit. And I could access the rooftop tent from inside the camper, which is perfect for me because, well, as you all know, I live in the wettest climate of the country. And this will give me a sleeping area and a shelter space all in one package without needing to set up a tent or awning or anything like that in the rain or in the cold weather. So I did some more research and I found out that there are a lot of companies that actually makes these type of camper, like I mentioned, OVS, Gia Campers, Alucab, and Dirtbox Overland, just to name a few. And you can even order one from AliExpress and have it shipped to your doorsteps. Although I don't know what the quality is gonna be like. But I came across Lone Peak Camper, which seems to fit all my bills, I was looking for something that was lightweight, something functional with the lower roofline so that I could still fit my truck into the garage, and most importantly, won't break my bank. And since they're somewhat local to me, I actually came out here to visit them to see the camper in person. And as soon as I saw it, I just fell in love with it. So I placed my order, and about 3 months later, here we are. And I actually got lucky too, because when I ordered mine, they were planning to build version 2 camper, so I was able to order the version 2 instead of the version 1. And I think this is the most thought out camper shell in the market, because they're not just copying the trend, but the owner, Kyle, actually goes out and uses a camper on a weekly basis. So, he made his ideas come to life with Lone Peak Camper. And their customer service is top notch. They responded to my emails really quickly with answering all the questions and called me to finalize my build when it was time for them to build my camper. And by the way, they initially told me that the time frame to build a camper is about 4 months after I put my order in, but they actually built it in 3 months time frame, so which is always a plus. And once you get here, they told me it takes about 2 hours for them to finalize and install the camper. So let's wait around and find out. That was quick, man. Awesome.
Bring that out. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna give you a whole walkthrough of the entire camper, ins and outs of it, little odds and ends that are nice to know, and then answer any questions that you got along the way too.
Perfect.
So we want to make sure roof latches. This one does fall down on its own. Some of them are a little sticky. Say for instance, this one
Like
right
that
here.
yeah.
We want to make sure that these do get pressed flush up against your camper. Reason being, if for some odd reason these do grow to get sticky and that gets left up in there and you go to close this, that's going to get kind of sandwiched in, kind of bent a little bit. So we want to make sure that's all the way down. That handle there's push up with. And then our bungee is going to come around our outside corners here.
Perfect.
If you want to take a gander here inside and see this net is holding all the extra tent material.
Oh yeah.
This is attached to our tent brace.
Okay.
This tent brace is what's going to create our tent tension. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to close this panel back up. I like to do this personally from my tailgate. On mine personally, I do open up my back window at this point if this is zipped up. I unzip it because I do like to do this step right here.
Bring it up. Oh, I see. Okay.
I just find it easier because I can pull my body weight on this and get
go
this
inside and push it out. Okay.
Yeah, I find it a little bit easier having my body weight go this way instead of me doing this.
Got it.
I'm going to show you what I'm looking for, where this should click into place on the inside here, and how to adjust this as well. So these red knobs are what are actually clicking into place. It's kind of what I'm listening for, and once I get inside, I'm visually looking to make sure that they did actually engage.
Okay.
If these do not engage, you're probably just going to have a floppy tent. Obviously, we want to avoid that.
Right.
So, and if you want to come over to your right just a hair, this is what it's going to look like. That little gap there is what it's going to look like if it's not engaged fully. So coming inside, kind of putting an eye on it is a good little tidbit to do right whenever you're starting to open up. Luckily, both of these did fully engage, so we're good. You got a pretty solid tension on your tent right now.
And is there a way to give it more tension?
100%. Yeah. And that's the next thing right here is this one bolt on each side.
Got it.
We're just going to loosen this up, and that's going to allow us to either push on this bar whenever this bolt is loosened, or pull on the bar to either loosen or tighten our tent tension.
Okay.
If you do go tighter, this is going to be a little bit harder to click into place. So putting an eye on this and making sure that it's actually in is a little bit more vital at that point.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm just going to leave it where it is and kind of give you the space to play with this as you want. Next, want to make sure our bed platform goes up first, kind of one of the reasons why we get this Lone Peak. Make sure that, give us all this room for activities here. As we raise and lower this on windy afternoons or nights, whenever you're camping, as you're raising and lower this, if that wind is blowing in this direction, your tent material is going to get rubbed up against by the bed corner.
Right.
So really just, you'll hear it
push it
and see it, just push it out, just to help prevent rips or tears or anything. They do have 3D printed edges on the outside of our bed corners. These do sometimes come out. Like mine are not as snug. So if these do fall out, I don't know, maybe to prevent that, you could throw some like super glue in there or something, just to maybe like
permanent.
Yeah, exactly. That way you don't have that metal to fabric contact. The last foot of this bed platform coming down, if I were to just pull this down and let go, just like any gas strut works, it's going to give out at that last little bit. So if I were to let go, that's going to slam up against your actual extrusions. Once or twice is probably more or less going to be a reminder, like, hey, put your hand underneath this. 100 times is probably just going to start to wear and tear on your bed platform, but we want to try to keep this as nice as we can for as long as we want.
Sure.
Want it to be that nice, so just have a hand underneath that and rest it down easy.
And what are these?
So these are what we call our dust killer vents. This is going to put a positive pressure on the back of our truck bed to help push that dust out.
Okay.
Obviously, all of our dust as we drive on dusty roads is kind of recirculating here and picking up in between our bed sill. Couple things that you can do are just get tailgate sills.
Yeah, I was actually looking into that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they make different kinds here with the way that your bed has these ridges. They don't come all the way out to the edge here, which is nice. This is going to allow you the option to get that bed sill that covers up this entire gap.
Oh, okay.
They make little rubber gaskets here.
Sure.
That would be a great option. And then
the sides.
And then
There's
the
a big
sides.
gap.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Amazon or just finding Rough Country or some other fabricator that makes those is a good resource. With the Rams, the manufacturers don't really give us a good layout of where your roof antenna is. In hindsight, we used to kind of run into this problem whenever a customer would get in and this would be in the wrong location. You could give us a 2024 Ram and our assumption would be that your antenna is going to be in the middle, and then it would show up here, same 2024 Ram, same length bed, and it would all of a sudden be over here.
Okay.
So we were having to kind of like fabricate on the spot.
So is that why there's two of them?
So we literally just kind of mitigated that problem by putting two on for the Ram specifically.
Okay.
So you're just going to have an extra positive pressure in the back.
There you go.
Not a bad thing.
Yeah.
So that's why you have two.
And these are.
So those are going to be for your diesel
diesel
heater.
heater,
These are
okay.
going to be your
Okay.
air returns, and these are going to just push out, and they're Velcroed on 3 of these sides, push out, and that's going to recirculate your air so that you have nice hot air moving around constantly. So all of that being said, that is important information, but none of this is as important as one part of your truck camper, which is the part keeping this on the bed of your truck. With these mounting pucks, you're going to get an email that's going to give you all of the information on torque specs, how often to torque this down, tools that we use that are helpful for this camper that are just, I mean, it's like a handful of tools. It's not a lot. So you really don't need much to maintain this camper. But your best friend is going to be your torque wrench.
Sure.
So torque specs are going to be 100 inch-pounds right here on these two, and then the email is actually going to tell you 75 inch-pounds. I'm going to just go ahead and say, like, you can go 100 inch-pounds all the way around.
Okay.
It's easier to remember one number, and you're not over-torquing or under-torquing at this rate. Honestly, it's a little bit better to have that little extra torque.
Makes sense.
So if you go to 75 inch-pounds and find that it's way already there, it's because I went 100 all the way around.
Okay.
It's going to tell you once a week for the first month while this settles, just to be checking, put a torque wrench on this, make sure everything's still sitting where it needs to be. These two are actually keeping the puck onto the camper, and then this one's actually preventing your forward and backward movement. So this one is really vital. Preventing your side-to-side movement with the way that this camper sits on the bed of your Ram, your pucks are going to have 2 extra bolts on them. We're not torquing these. We're just making sure that we hand snug these up against your bed rail because there's little tensioners in here.
Right.
So those tensioners are going to get pressed up against there. Exactly.
yeah.
Yep. And make sure that that's going to stop your side-to-side movement.
And notice there's only 4 of them. You think it's a good idea to have an extra third one on a 5.7 bed? Or
This is all situational, in my opinion. According to what kind of environment you're really putting yourself in. The only time that I really advocate for it, because at the end of the day, this is your personal preference. I only really dive into it. If I see someone come in here with a jacked up truck, big tires, they're going to be crawling
All the time. Yeah.
really pushing their truck
Okay.
to the limit.
Okay.
If you're just going on Forest Service roads and just trying to get after it, get out there and go deep, like you're going to be fine in this situation, as long as you're doing your due diligence and making sure that your torques are actually torqued down. You're not going to see a lot of movement because we've also changed our gasketing. We used to have an issue with a lot of customers kind of calling in saying, hey, my camper has shifted. In my opinion, as the installer, and I'm not putting blame on anybody, but that is telling me that they weren't checking it as often as they needed to. Our old gasketing was nice and thick, so it was like really raising this camper about a ½ inch up off of here. Okay. And that settle period was more prominent than it is now.
Yeah, of course. Makes sense.
This is about as close to flush to the camper as we're going to get because there's not a lot of settle that this... it's not flimsy. That's going to be the wrong word for me to use. It's just not as
dense.
Yes, not as dense. Yeah. So that density obviously allows for more compression.
Right.
We kind of just took that away by going to a more simple gasketing, allowing this to kind of sit as flat as it's going to sit. Yeah. Pretty much.
The only job is to keep the water out and. Yeah. Okay.
So whenever we say for once a week for the first month, you're probably going to go check it, and it's not going to. You're not going to be torquing much because it's already settled.
I'll do my diligence.
But it won't hurt. So if you ever go to take these off, just make sure that whenever you go to put your pucks back on, that they're in a very similar location that they are in now, and that you back off your tensioners.
Right.
And then whenever you put them back on, that you tension those back up.
Okay.
Our panels here are going to be nice and smooth now with the V2s, so we're just going to pinch that together and open up. Really cool feature that we offer with our camper is this gasketing that's on the outside of our panel. You can't see it from in here. Once it compresses that weather sill, I've left mine open in a light rain and my water feeds off the sides instead of just pouring down, which I'm not going to name companies, but different companies don't have that gasketing, and your water's just pouring down inside, which kind of eliminates the fact of why we have it. So pretty cool little feature that we like to add in there.
And the angle is also adjustable, right? By adjusting the shocks then?
It is.
Bring it down or up?
Yes. And if you ever go to add weight to your panels, like later on you want those side molly panels and you want to add stash bags or some other feature that we have, we'll probably recommend upgrading our gas struts, which you could also just contact us and either get them from us or go through another route.
Sure.
That would be our recommendation if you ever add weight to your panels.
Okay.
We're going to close it. Handle there. You don't have to slam it super hard anymore like the old V1s. We kind of had to like really slam it to get our latches to activate properly. What we've upgraded to has really kind of eliminated all of that.
So that is the new version 2.
This
right?
is, yeah. Our handle system is a lot more adequate, and I love it. A lot smoother.
And you could lock it from inside?
Yep. There's 2 ways to lock it, and we're going to have, I'll go through that right now. Here's 4 keys. This is going to work your roof locks and all 3 panels. So any lock on this camper is going to be worked by all 4 of these keys. They're universal. One of the 2 ways to lock is from the outside. If you lock it from the outside, obviously no one can get in from the outside. You'll still always be able to get out from the inside no matter what. Our fail-safe is just pulling these together and pushing out. If it's locked on the outside and you go to close it back, this is going to stay locked. If you're on the inside and you just want that extra security at the end of the night, you can just do this. I'm kind of calling this my deadbolt in a sense.
Because they can't. Oh, I see.
No one can get in from the outside. Right. You can't use this anymore either.
Okay.
But again, you'll always be able to get out. Even though you're on the inside, why can't you just do that? So.
Right. So if you lock it from outside, you can't open it basically.
Correct.
Okay.
You'll get something like this. Because obviously this only locks down that latch.
Got it.
But in this case, you can lock this and this, have even more security.
Sounds good.
But we give you a couple options here just to play around with. Let's see. So kind of touching back on if we ever go to take this camper off, This bar is going to be simply for this one
To give
point
it that-
only. It's going to keep your rigidity and the structural integrity of your camper.
Okay.
So what I would do is probably take my pucks off and allow my camper to flex back out a little bit, because I did get a little bit of draw in with my pucks. Not a bad thing, but put this back in and that'll keep your square
Okay.
camper like you want. You can just throw this in storage for the meantime, though. You don't need to drive around with that or
Sure.
anything. The only thing that we do not install is your third brake light. So that's what's dangling right here. Typically, people are running this into their tail light. My recommendation is just going to say, look on YouTube. That you know well. So check it out. See what they recommend for caps and everything. And this is going to run into your tail light.
From here like that. Okay.
In theory, I've seen people go straight into their tail light and not do any research. And if you were to just go straight into your tail light right now, according to your vehicle make and model and all that, if you were to plug it into there, you might find that whenever you turn on your turn signal right here, this is going to flash too. If you turn on this turn signal, this is only going to flash. You're not going to get your flash on this side either. It's not going to break it up and do one side of your LED and this side of your LED. The whole LED is going to flash. So that's why I say do your research. See what the best method of plugging into what wiring you need to on your truck. That way you're getting the actual use and function of that light that you want.
Okay. Okay. And this is only positive and negative, right?
Yes, sir.
Whether you have it as a running light or a third brake light, if you have it on third brake light, it's not going to turn on when you're driving, only when you hit the brakes.
Correct.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yep. Unless you do have your lights on and it might illuminate. I just can't give you a proper answer on how the wiring works in your truck. So, and another reason why we don't plug that in ourselves.
Okay.
So moving on here, I know you don't have a juice box or anything, but as you go to plug in your diesel heater and get this running and set up, how this is going to work is this coil of wires is going to be your wiring to your actual power source inside.
Okay.
So again, positive and negative right here. We'll send a wiring diagram out for what blue and brown mean. On the outside where your diesel heater would be sitting, this is going to screw into the only place it can screw into on the outside of your port. Can't really mess this one up too much. And then we'll send also a diagram out for how this should be wired up to your diesel heater. All your extras are here. Your 1T slot tie down and your extra channel nuts are in there. These are your V1 channel nuts though. The V2 campers do have two different channels. So your bottom channel is going to be V1 channel nuts.
And what size is this?
The actual millimeters, I'm not sure.
Okay.
But I do know that this is a larger channel than what you have down here. So these are only going to work on your lower channels.
Okay.
If you want to, go grab some more and we'll give you upper channel nuts as well.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then that'll give you...
Because I'm going to put an awning there too, so...
And if you get an awning, do you have awning mounts on the outside already?
Yeah,
Are they out there?
I got my own.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that case, we'll send you like what bolt to use with our channel nuts as well. If you don't use your own,
Okay.
like M8 bolts,
Okay.
work with our channel nuts.
M8, okay.
And then you could just throw those in there, put your awning mounts on the outside.
So other than the third brake light and new hinges for the lock, what else has changed from version 1 to version 2?
So our handles have changed, our gas strut strength has changed,
Oh,
and then right here, all of these now have these open slots instead of just a pure blank. Our latch system has changed. We're using a different latch, actual latch versus our latch pins, and our latch pins have changed because these are longer. These used to be about half the length, so they only used to come out to like here instead of the long ones.
Okay.
We had to kind of like differentiate the length with our new panels. The accessories that we offer are more abundant. We've changed our interior lighting, which we didn't get in this package, but we have like our side lights are interior now instead of exterior. So if you look on the white camper right here, you see those side lights right there. We don't offer that on our new campers.
Okay.
they're just now interior, so that whenever you open up your panel, our light is going to illuminate down here instead of a floodlight.
Right, outside, which kind of defeats the purpose if you have that thing open. It's blocking the light, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Cool. So you have a lifetime warranty on your camper, and that's going to cover the entirety of the camper functionality-wise. So gas struts, anything to do with your panels, including latches, latch pins, handles, locks, roof panel, extrusions, if anything were to go awry, where that's going to be covered under lifetime warranty. 2-year warranty is going to cover all the additional add-ons that you added, so diesel heater, back window, and then 2-year warranty on your tent material. With the tent material, just treat it like a ground tent. So if this does get wet, treat it like your tent. Open this up, let it air out.
Of course.
Don't build up mildew or anything.
Right.
And then there's a couple things with your window. So I'm just going to open up this one. It's going to be a little bright here. I always open up the one with the sun, of course. I'm not going to be super nice and neat like this like I would on my own, but just for time's sake. So just like a ground tent, we have our loops here. One thing to just keep in mind is making sure that this is pushed out of the way as you lower down your bed platform, because this will get wedged in between there. Your bed will kind of rest on this and not allow it to close all the way down. So keep an eye on that. Last thing you want to do is have this wedged in between there, sit on your bed, and then hear it slam up against here, because you might have potentially ripped or torn your tent material at that point. So one thing to just kind of note. And then
good tip.
If I have these, ultimately these would be closed, but you do have an extra, of course,
Like a breathing.
Yeah, of course I'm just short enough for this. Easier to do from your bed, but this opens up. You have that extra airflow. If this is all closed up and zipped up and it's raining, you still have airflow to help with condensation or anything else. But do make sure that you get these closed up before you start tucking everything away.
Okay.
It'll just really kind of make it all go together better. And then your side windows will be helpful if you do have these zipped up as well as you're starting to close everything down. So once these are zipped up, now everything's gonna be nice and neat as you're starting to tuck everything away. And then order of operations, as you do break this down, you do want to bring your bed platform down first. You don't want to make the mistake of putting your tent brace down first, because then your bed will sit something like this.
Okay.
Which we want this flush with our actual extrusion. So this down first, and then we want to be minimal with how much bedding that we're leaving on top of our bed. We have about an inch of space before we have, it's like, for instance, if you were to leave your pillows on top of your bed, you're going to have too much bedding up here, because that pressure is going to be pushing up against your roof. We want to eliminate or avoid that so that we don't have pressure pressing up against our roof and delaminating it from our camper. So pillows off, and then kind of what I tell people bedding wise is leaving a sheet and a blanket or a thin comforter is about your max amount of bedding that you can kind of get away with.
Okay.
You'll feel a couple things. You'll feel resistance as you close this. And that is your first indicator that you got too much on top. So on that note, next thing that we can do is loosen that up. You can pull that in, and then we're going to close this down, and we're really on our way out now. So if you want to go ahead and hop out, I'll show you the rest from outside. I'm going to lay this down on top of my bed, and this net is going to catch all of our extra tent material, so it's not just dangling down inside. And you can also loosen up this net if you would like, and store
more heavier, like
pillows or blankets.
Okay.
Not a bad idea. I saw a lady had done that, and I was like, I got to tell everyone about this. So a couple uses for that net besides holding your tent material. And then I'm going to come out here. Like I said, your side windows being zipped up are helpful. Your back window is really personal preference. I think at the beginning I told you I do like to open this up for my tailgate, and so I unzip this at that point. Typically, whenever I'm shutting my camper up, I do leave this zipped up. But again, personal preference. I'm going to leave it open for now and give you something to kind of mess around with and find your preference. You're going to bring your bungee up as high as you can to help tuck everything away and pull your roof down. This step is what we call our double tuck. So the lower that your roof is, the better. I'm going to bring this down as low as I can and pull the tent material above my bungee and below my bungee to get all my tent material tucked in. This should be a one-person job from your tailgate. Kind of like the positive to these wedge campers versus your rooftop tents and stuff like that. This is going to sit down. You should hear some metal-to-metal contact. Nothing should be sticking out the side of your camper. And then you'll kind of notice from this point too, if you have too much on your bed, you've either forced it down or you have bulging on your roof. And then latch up your camper.
Cool.
I've double checked your roof locks. Everything's working well, smoothly. Your panels are working smoothly and your locks are working smoothly as well. And then your last thing here, just give it a good shut, man. You're gonna have no light peering through here, which tells me this is sealed correctly. And you're not gonna get a bunch of weather coming through here. This is gonna be the only place that you have light coming through, but that's
that's where I need to get
pretty hard to close off in itself already as it is.
Oh, but I could actually open the tailgate without opening this.
You have a flat tailgate cap, so that's super beneficial. Some truck makes and models do not have a flat tailgate. For instance, mine has a lip,
little bit of lip.
And so I can't open up my back tailgate or my back panel before I open this up. But I'm also not bougie enough to have the open up tailgate. So it makes my life a little bit more difficult, but it's also, I have a camper, so life could be worse.
Okay.
Perfect. So yeah, there's all your extras. That's pretty much everything that I have, minus the last little tidbit is periodically check all your grab handles and the accessories, make sure everything's tightened down.
Cool. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so I got the camper all installed and I'm so excited. It looks so good. But as you can see, you can't see anything through the back. But this is where the Wolfbox dash cam comes in handy because I still have my rear view. And all in all, it took about an hour and a half for them to finish up the installation. And it was a very easy and quick process. So let's head back home and we'll take a look at it more closely. All right, so I'm home now, and as you can see, I was able to fit my Rebel in the garage with the camper. And this was the main reason why I went with Lone Peak Camper, because they had the lowest roof height. So yeah, overall, I'm very happy with the camper, and I can't wait to take her out in the woods for some, winter camping. Plus, with the 270-degree awning and the awning walls, I think I'll be able to take the whole family and still have a cozy, warm camping experience in the winter. And my camper trim is the baseline trim, which is pretty much basic camper shell. And the only additional accessories that I got was the diesel heater port and the 4 grab handles. But they have a ton of accessories you could add to your camper, like the side window panels, pass-through cab window in the back, interior zone lighting, roof vent fan, off-grid power system, and so much more. But I just got the baseline trim as I'm planning to customize my camper the way I want. And as you can see behind me, like adding a solar charging system with 1000 watt power inverter, a Li-Time mountable 100 amp hour lithium battery, and lighting system for both inside and outside the camper, and so much more. So that's why I got the baseline. And also I was able to mount the Orvis overlanding Molly panels, which was designed for the back side of the front seats, but it fits pretty well here. And if you're planning to outfit your camper too, make sure to get their T-nuts, because I ordered a bunch of different sizes of T-nuts and bolts from Amazon, and they're all too small for the top rail, which they went with the larger rail system to make the camper more rigid. But the lower channel will work with the 4545 series T-nuts and bolts. So I have to call them tomorrow to see what size T-nuts I need to get for the top rails, or if not, I'll just order more from Lone Peak. So anyways, this is our new addition to Chasing Adventures, and I'm so excited and looking forward to enhance my camping experience with it, which of course I'll be sharing my experience with you guys through my silent camping video, so please stay tuned for that. And if you're interested in Lone Peak Camper, I'll leave the link in the video description with any available discount code for you guys, because this thing was not cheap. So, you know, every bit of discount will help. So that is all I have for you guys today, and thank you all for tuning in today. And until next time, keep chasing adventures, and I'll see you all on my next video.